Hello everyone and welcome to a new edition of the Low-Code Café, episode 27. Today it will be again the regular webinar that we are having, which is a technical webinar, very focused on learning new things. So we have different people from our team speaking from different perspectives about the product. So we have Reza, our head of product, giving us product updates, but then we also have our head of support giving us whatever is hot on support, smart solutions to problems that people are having. And then it will be a lot of hands-on development using our platform, our low-code platform, building various systems, or as we've started doing a couple of weeks ago, extending such systems with new templates in particular is what we'll be doing today. So for those of you that are new, we are doing this every week. We already have quite a bit of content, and it's very good technical content. So if you are into learning our low-code platform really fast, I invite you to visit our YouTube channel and browse through the previous recording. All of these webinars are recorded and they are available within 1 or 2 days after the webinar. Also, part of this webinar, I use some of the time to give like some community updates on what's happening, our progress so far, because what's very, very nice, very interesting about us is the community, right? We work together a lot on all aspects, like first of all, product, defining what the product should do is very tied to what our community is doing with it. So we use this space, this weekly webinar, to also do that sync at the bigger picture, at the business level. So today I have some amazing news to share with you. You probably know that we started equity crowdfunding a couple of months ago on Republic, but last week we announced that we are doing the same on a platform that is in Romania. So for the Romanian angel investors, and not just Romania, but maybe also Central and Eastern Europe. So we launched this campaign publicly this Tuesday, and within 1 hour from release, we managed to raise $730,000. So that's a very, very good success for us, because now we have a lot of capital to put more into product development, to put more into hiring people, to scale up sales, marketing as well. So it's very, very good news for us. For those of you that haven't invested yet, they do not own a share in our company and in our success, the Republic campaign is still open. So the other one closed, we sold everything, but the Republic campaign is still open. And I was just checking it earlier. It's actually more, it's around 170K now. It's up 15K since last week. So I invite you to check it out, check what we have to offer in terms of equity, but also in terms of being part of this community. So thanks again to everyone that invested so far, both in terms of owning a stake of the company, but also adopting Plant an App and creating these wonderful stories that we are hearing about, building these kind of systems in days, weeks, and changing lives for people. So that is the update from my end. I have some other things, big things undergoing, and this will be presented to you next week. So thanks again for being here in this webinar. And now I will pass it to Reza to give us an overview of what's coming in terms of product features in Q1. So Reza, if you want to take it over.
Yes, thank you. Hey, everyone. Let me get my screen shared here. Okay, so we've been doing a lot of planning the last couple of weeks and should have that wrapped up next week. Been focused on Q1 particularly, and starting to get our viewpoint, not just on the next release, but kind of a slice of a quarter at a time. And so release 1.11 is out and available, can be upgraded right from within the application. You can see the change log. There's a whole lot in there. I did want to note one thing. There's a security vulnerability in one of the open source libraries that we use. And we have a patch coming for that. It's in testing right now, and that will be released as soon as tomorrow as a hot fix in the product. Possibly the day after, just depends on how all of the regression testing goes. So it's while it is a vulnerability in that library, our developers have confirmed that that is not exposed in the UI that you are building. So if you have an action form or something and your users of the application are filling out the form, that library is not exposed or used in anything they're interacting with. It's more on your administrative configuration screen. So, you know, I'm not trying to sound alarm bells or anything like that. It's just one of those points of modern software development. When you're using libraries and these things, exploits are found. We take them seriously, we patch them, and encourage you to apply and adopt these patches as well, and just keep yourself current, and you're going to have a good, safe experience. So with that said, and that will also then be shipping going forward in 1.12. So the big theme of 1.12 is primarily around workflows, really wanting to take our workflow maturity kind of to the next level. And so you have a lot of ability right now to create these workflows and do powerful things with them. And we've talked in past episodes about you know, just making that a better experience. So things like being able to save and test from within the workflow builder, being able to have inputs specified as being required, being able to organize your workflows and put them in named groups. And kind of that all culminates with something we've been kind of talking about and people have been wanting for a while, the ability to export and import workflows. And so a lot of focus there on workflows in this release. A very important one from Entity Builder. Today, you have a permissions section when you're defining an entity, and there are some named roles that come and ship with Plant and App. You have the ability to define and name your own, and then specify which one of those roles can view records, edit records, delete their own, that sort of thing. But there's a kind of a special role in the platform that is called all users. Specifically, this is applying to people who are not authenticated, not signed into the system. And currently the Entity Builder does not have support for that role. And so when you just have primarily things that you want to make visible publicly and leverage Entity Builder for, whether it's your read all actions or having an entity be the data source of a listing, a grid, you're having to either inject users in through actions or not being able to leverage that very convenient read entity action. And so going to provide support now, and you will see this all users role. Initially here, it's going to be a read only type thing. I know that maybe like in a situation where you have a shopping cart and someone's not signed in and they're adding things to the cart, and then when they go to check out, they create their account. If you were using entities in that situation and we have this new all users role, because there's not a user, there's nothing we can do about trying to preserve like what they're doing before they sign in. So this is really focused on read access initially, and we'll keep maturing that as we progress through the year. If that is something, once we get this in people's hands, very near and dear to you, would love the feedback and some ideation together on how you intend to use this. There are things you can do within the platform to support such a thing on your own. Different shopping carts and things do that. But I feel like the 80-20 rule applies here, and what most people are needing right now is the ability to expose that read access. Another thing is we rolled out our dashboard, KPI dashboard tiles several releases ago, and that's been very well received. It's something you have to manually add to a page right now. And so we're going to enhance the Entity Builder to allow you to toggle on and off. It'll be off by default. Every entity you create doesn't need dashboard tiles. But when you toggle it on, it will go ahead and when it creates your entity, or even after you've created your entity, if you turn it on, it'll go ahead and put a dashboard component on that listing page. And then you'll still configure it all yourself. It's not going to be pre-configured or wired up against the entity, but it's there for you, and you can go ahead and own and take control of defining it how you want. That feature is just too powerful for us to try to guess how you want to configure it and what you want to expose. You can make any entity you want. So rather than just do something with like generic counts of the overall records in the entity and then having you have to go in and change all of that, we're just going to give you kind of a blank canvas, but it's there for you to configure. You will be able to toggle and turn that off. It'll still be there. Administrator type users will still see it and can work with it. But if you just wanted to quickly not expose it to regular users of the site, then you'll just toggle that off. No need to delete it or anything like that. From a developer experience standpoint, this one kind of has come up, especially for people that are migrating from DNN and DNN Sharp existing type sites where you are using the API builder, and then you install App Builder and you see the APIs section and you're saying, where's all my APIs? Well, App Builder creates its own API instance and generates a lot of APIs for you. Rather than try to merge those or mix and munge what the system generates with what you've generated, they're going to stay separate, except now if you have more than one instance of APIs in place. So even if you're not coming from a upgraded system, but you say, hey, I want to make use of APIs, and perhaps I want to kind of separate things and keep them a little cleaner. Here's the ones that are tied directly to my entity, maintained by the system for me, and here's the ones that I'm creating and doing some special things with. You'll be able to pick between the two, and just from that interface. So bringing all that together for you into one spot. Additionally, this is one we've been after for a while. You know, we added the administrator logs. These are typically error logs and major kind of events that are happening in the system that the overall platform of DNN maintains for you. Those are exposed through a logs section now in App Builder, but a lot of things are happening on disk. And so we want to start exposing that, and starting with the App Builder logs, so things for your tiles, anything that Entity Builder and the App Builder is doing, where they're logged to disk. A lot of debug type info and things there, and good details, even to help us support you, where you might see an error that just says this particular component had an issue or errored or something like that, but not really good detail. That stuff's logged to disk. And rather than have to have you go and you know, get FTP access or something to the site so that you can find those disk logs, we're going to expose them and make them available right from that log interface. We'll keep expanding on that, and I'll touch on that when I look at what the rest of the quarter is going to look like here in a second, but this will set the stage for that. And then, of course, just plenty of stuff that's from the support center, the community portal. Please know that when you're putting stuff out there in those forums, we're taking those seriously, and not just, it's great that we support each other and we answer questions, but people are reporting issues and things there and acting on those. So got a lot of good kind of fixes and small enhancements. Like I mentioned, got that security patch that would highly encourage you all to do. So always trying to leave ourselves room to make sure that we're not just building new things, but we're, you know, supporting you and making sure what we have now works well and keeps working well. So I anticipate that this release we got a little bit of a delayed start. People were on holidays. Like I said, we've been doing a lot of this planning. So we've been doing some of these minor fixes in the last week or so and this week, but wanting to make sure we have time to work on the workflows and stuff. So this release kind of is going to delay out about a week just to account for that. I expect a release candidate the last week of January. So some of our early adopters and testers, you have access within the system if you are on one of those versions now to upgrade yourself to 1.12. I don't do that now. There's nothing worth your while there right now. And I'll kind of give you the go ahead. And once we have some good stuff in there, if you want to get an early access and sneak peek and help kick the tires on things. First week or so of February, I anticipate we'll release this out as a stable build. So then looking at the rest of Q1, what things are shaping up towards now then, once we've kind of got workflows, you know, hitting at the next level, wanting to look at Entity Builder, and I know we've talked a lot and had a lot of input and feedback, being able to connect to existing SQL tables. We'll probably take this one in 2 slices. We're still, like I said, doing some of that design work and seeing what's going to be involved. The first one will be in Entity Builder, you will be able to specify a data source that is pointing to an existing table somewhere, right? We also want to separate out our data schemas so that your app generated data, the stuff that's in your entity tables, is separate from the platform itself. This will help you have things like dev and QA environments, do updates, tests, stuff like that, without losing or overriding, falling behind on data that users are generating. So it's initially going to be pointing to this other data source, and then you'll get the actions and APIs and things like that. So you'll have a read all my table, you know, and you know, some of the updates and things like that. And those are very fast and convenient actions to use. The second part we'll take up then will be to actually generate the UI around that. And it's mainly just because it's a lot of work to pack into one release, and we wouldn't have time for other things. So we'll probably break this into 2 chunks and take them over subsequent releases with each other. Very important one also, I'd mentioned that we're going to have this all users role. Another part that people are struggling with is from a permission standpoint, being able to get down to the record level and being able to specify a record owner. And so this will be coming probably in 1.13. And that will avoid some of the hacks and things people are doing right now with taking over that created by ID and changing it. So if someone's like in a ticketing system, I'm a support agent, I create a ticket on behalf of a customer, the customer right now can't see that record because they're not the created by person, the owner of it. And so separating out who created the record from who is the owner. They'll probably match each other by default, but you'll have ability to specify and input into that field. And then in that ticketing type situation, the agent can create a record on behalf of someone else, and that someone else will be able to see it when they sign in because they're the owner. Being able to export and import apps, this is kind of where all this is going for us in Q1, and the kind of big culmination of things, and our goals here is now having a lot of capability and wanting the ability to be able to, again, support development, QA environments, and share applications with each other, have starter apps, that sort of stuff. Looking at one of the ways to do that being the restore from GitHub. So one, I highly encourage, it's very easy to set up. I think we've got a video out there. If not, we'll put one. It's a 5-minute thing max to set up a quick GitHub repository and point your instance to it. Even right now, without the ability to import, it's giving you a very valuable history, not just for audit, but if you goof up in tokens or different actions, you've got a history there and you can go and import those back in manually, but it's a lifesaver. So I encourage wiring up for that, because in the near future, we're going to have the ability to import from GitHub. It'll probably be a kind of all or nothing type thing. And so you'll say you're not going to go and get down and say, oh, I just want this version of this workflow from GitHub, but rather here's a branch of my application in GitHub. Let me restore that in and or deploy that out, you know, into an empty instance. A couple of exciting things coming to tokens. One is a new token that can read an entity similar to the database token that we have today. And so this will give you the ability very quickly and easily to, in Razor and different things, loop over a token or just point right to a single record, and then in a page in an HTML module, drop some tokens in. And based on what record you're on, just kind of having freedom to display data that's tied to a single record without having to write SQL and things. The other one, and this one's really huge, I think this one's going to be a game changer. It doesn't sound like much when you first hear it, but the ability to run a workflow as a token. And so today, very complex advanced logic prior to workflows really is only achievable inside of a Razor script, inside of tokens. And that means that you've got to know how to code, and coding can be a little bit tedious, and just a semicolon or something in the wrong spot can take a whole day to resolve. Workflows really change that. You can do some very, very powerful logic and things in workflows, return back data to yourself, JSON, things to show, make decisions, that kind of stuff. And so having a token that you can drop on a page that's going to run all kinds of logic that you're just dragging and dropping and creating, and then net a result output on the screen right there as a result of that. So I think that one's going to be really huge. And once you get your hands on this, it's probably going to become kind of one of the de facto ways to render some very powerful custom logic and outputs and things like that without having to write code. And then the page builder, which we released starting in version 1.11, it is now the default kind of theme and skin for the application. It also gives you a lot of powerful abilities to interact with your application, your front end, all from the page that you're working on. So want to keep progressing there, having some different layouts and templates as far as your navigation and your menu system goes, being able to override not just the colors, but different aspects of the CSS that make up the theme and layout, turning toggles on for different features. Right now, short of you overriding some CSS by hand, you're getting search, you're getting profiles, you're getting terms. You can always go and change the visibility, but wanting to make those things that you can turn on or off as appropriate to the application that you have. We've got the new listing module. I'll probably go ahead next week and show the calendar one. It's out there now. It's in 1.11. It's more of a proof of concept. It's good. It works. But that's a very powerful library that's based on. And so looking for some feedback and things on that as people are using it, and we'll make some adjustments and minor tuning there. We also have that new grid kind of listing template, wanting to get that exposed out as well. So kind of by the end of Q1, wanting these really to be, when I say MVP, minimal viable product, this doesn't mean that they're not powerful or feature rich. It just means this is the kind of first version of something that's really useful, solid, and stable to people that will keep building on and extending on going forward. Again, last kind of thing from the developer experience, you know, right now we're exposing all these dislogs to you, wanting to really turn on the power, unlock the power of that debug logging debug information out, so that not just errors and things, but you can leave clues and breadcrumbs and different things for yourself as you're developing your applications and various actions and workflows and things. Those go to disk right now in a not really known or accessible location to people. You've got to go toggle and set some configuration settings in the web config if you want to enable that. So it's not really accessible to people without some work right now. Wanting to really make that accessible, you'll just be able to very easily turn that on in settings and then use the action and see those things that you are debugging right there in the logs section of App Builder. And then as always, leaving room for stability and some security stuff, your feedback in the support center, the community forums, requests, and I've tried to leave a little room here. So this still is a lot of work to do in a quarter. I think the meeting with the team, they're excited. This is all achievable, but we've left ourselves a little bit of wiggle room here in case, you know, just in case new things come in or hot items pop up, that we're still able to adapt and respond to those. I anticipate also that we're going to be growing the team very, very soon in this quarter, and we should start seeing our release cadence pick up and more things happening each release. That's it for me this week.
Great. If you'll unshare, I will jump in. Hello, everyone. Let's see here. So in our From the Trenches segment today, I'm really, there's just a theme we're going to talk about. Radu's following up behind me here in a minute and going to talk about NavXP. And I'm going to talk about NavXP 2. And so that's going to be an overall theme for the next 35 minutes or so. But I'm going to do the easy lifting as usual, and Radu is going to do the hard lifting. But the overall goal, the direction I'm going to demonstrate is about putting in a side menu in a particular branch of the menu system and letting that be under the control of your security roles. So, and then I'm going to end up with allowing the menu theme that gets displayed to be a user preference. And again, all that's handled through security roles. So let's just dive in. The complicated part about this one today is just there's quite a bit of setup that happened. I'm using a current version of Plantain app, and the setup, the difficulty was just I added a bunch of pages, a menu structure that we can work with and look at and see how all this works. Most of these pages, all these are under the Low-Code Café number 27 side menus menu option. But most of these are public. We've got a couple of pages. This one here, one for members, is restricted to the members role. So we can see how that's going to play out. And then when I set these up, every page has a copy of an existing NavXP menu item, and it's just set to an unordered list of items. So just to demonstrate, I'm going to set up a page C here, just so you can see how I went through all that setup. So if I were to add a page C to this, and I'm gonna do a capital C, and I'm just going to allow it to be and all users, and I am using the page builder theme, so I'm going to apply that. So that gives me a blank page. I don't want this empty item here. So, but I'm going to add an existing NavXP item. And so that's I'm going to copy one from my page 27, my NavXP menu that's predefined, and drop it on the page. So that's the setup. It shows we've just copied the same menu over and over again into all these different pages. This is not really how NavXP is intended to work. It's intended to work with it can be used this way, but it's intended to also be part of a skin. And again, Radu's going to show that. But out of all that, let's see what we get. So I've got the menu that I'm displaying here is now showing what I've just added. And I've got an incognito session going on that I'm going to toggle back and forth to. So this is somebody who is not logged in. And so if I go into this number 27 side menus, I can see this. I can go to any of the pages. So if I go to the A page, I see my children, one for members, and 2. If I go into 2, no problem. You can see me. There's nothing on any of these pages, but you can follow along in the breadcrumb where I am. If I try to go into the one for members tab, it's going to send me to a login. So there's one of the benefits of using the NavXP versus the core menu, and that is that you can display menu items that don't have a that are not visible to an unlogged in user, which is the default behavior of the core product. So now I've logged in, and it lets me get into the page. So at one level, I've already demonstrated we can add a menu to a branch, and it's a little bit tedious. You have to add it page by page onto the pages, but you can have the second level menu. And again, Rod is going to show you a very elegant solution if I leave him enough time here. But to do this under user control, under role control, I'm going to go into the manage this menu. And again, because it's the same menu dropped on a bunch of different pages, when I change it in one place, it changes in every place. So for example, I've got some other profiles defined here, and I'm going to pick, instead of picking children of a current page, I'm going to pick grandchildren and children of the current page and save that profile, so that now when I refresh my menu, now we see 2 levels down, which is kind of cool. But let's put this under some role control. So instead of doing simple mode, I'm going to go into advanced mode, and I'm going to bind my other profiles in here. So we have the children of the current page that I'm going to bind in, and also the full menu that I'm going to bind in. Full menu is just the entire menu for the system. So I'm going to put these in a particular order for my purposes here: children, and then full, and then grandchildren. And the reasoning is that the first security that first profile that they see that matches their security, that's the one they're going to get. So let's save that setup, and then we'll go in and look at the definitions of each of these. So if we were to look at the children of current page profile, I'm going to set this. I've set up some security roles called left menu children, left menu children grandchildren, left menu full. So we're in the branch called children of current page, and I'm going to give that to the people who have the role left menu children. And then I'm going to repeat that with, when edit the profile here of grandchildren, and that's going to get this particular security role. And then finally, I did that wrong. I'm going to go to the full menu, and that's going to get the left menu full role. And the grandchildren one is going to get not only grandchildren, but also administrators and all users. I want everyone else to get to see this because it's going to be the default menu if nothing else happens. So what do we get out of all that? If we save those changes and then take a look at my user working with here, I'm logged in the background. This is the one. The roles that I have, I'm set up as a manager, but I don't have that left user role yet. So I'm going to add, pick a particular menu, left menu full, and add it to this user. And so this is controlling the fact that this user has this role is saying that when he refreshes, maybe I didn't do the setup right, so I'm going to double check here, making sure it's all saved. And I'm going to check each of these. So the grandchildren one is set up to left children and the grandchildren, and that one should be last. That's my problem. So let's run that again. So by assigning that role, now I have the full menu assigned. But now for the cool part, in my preferences, I built a little menu so I've navigated to the preferences page, and I've built a little action form that allows me to change my roles. It either revokes or adds roles. So if I choose the one level down menu, the one level down option, it converts me, it changes my role in the background to that one level. And then if I were to go in and change it, for example, to 2 levels down, and we take a look at it now, it changes the menu. So the end result that we get out of this is the user can, through security and through a very simple click, be able to pick what kind of menu that they see on the left. You can do a great deal in terms of choosing what is going to appear on that left menu, but it's all under the control of role security. Okay, I hope that was of value. I'm going to pass it on now to Radu. He's going to talk about how you can, well, I'm going to let him introduce it, but going along the same thing, second level menu.
Yep. Hi, everyone. Hope you can see my screen.
Yep, we're in.
Cool. Okay, so as you said, Dale, so NavXP can work as an individual component on the website, or it can be your main navigation. In the initial development of the module, we thought people are gonna use it both ways, as a component in the platform or as their main menu. The thing is, historically, at least in the projects that I worked, I didn't see anyone, or I didn't have the need to use NavXP as an individual component. So what I want to show you today is how you can use this component to be, either your main navigation or either a secondary navigation like a side menu. So the first thing I want to mention, and I'm not sure how many people notice the fact that if you're a sorry, if you're an administrator and you click on the pencil to go into edit mode, well, you get the tiles where you can drag a new module, but I'm not sure how many observe that a new item in the menu appears here. That's because the actual menu builder that we are using in our plant and app skins, it's either the page builder that I'm showing right now, or it's the other one with the already has the side menu on the left. They're actually behind the scene NavXP. So the trick is, if you are going to go and click manage, a new tab is going to open. So you're going to see that you have this theme set to it, which is the page builder default. What we did is we took this component and we use it as a skin object. So I'm going to go somewhere at the end of the video and explain a little bit what the skin object is. But to summarize is, imagine that you have a module which is part of the skin, not part of this grid here that you can, go quickly and edit and drag and move on the separate page. It's part of your skin. So what's the benefit? The idea is that the skin is everywhere on any page that you need it. You don't need to re-add a new component to the page. And in a similar way, and maybe people knew or people didn't knew, in a similar way, that's how the search engine works. So the input you can have as an individual module, or you can add it to the skin. So anywhere I need the skin to look the same and I need the same logic, I don't need to, hey, let me add the search module there, let me add the menu module there, and stuff like that. So you have like already pre-built template. Now, Plant and App comes with a limited ways to configure at the moment the layout, but that doesn't mean you're stuck. You can go and manually overdrive the things, and you can actually clone the existing theme that we have and adjust it to your needs. So let me start with some basic things. So let's get an NavXP module. Yes, please. I want to stay connected. Give me 1 second. All right, hopefully this is gonna work. Okay, so let's see. Is my internet down or? Dale, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay.
Yep, we're good.
Something weird is happening to my PC.
Yeah, and while that's waiting, I'll just reiterate all the setup that I was talking about on that I had done was all about creating a bunch of pages, but then also dropping that same module over and over again. It was very tedious, and so when you make that be part of the skin, it just comes as part of that page. If you select that theme, that it's preloaded. So making it be part of the page is a lot more.
Right.
Definitely takes the effort out, but I was stalling.
No worries. Okay, I don't know what's happening. Let me see if I can reestablish the connection. It's weird that my connection with you guys is not lost, but other connections seem to not work anymore. So,
all right, while you're getting connected, I'll mention a little bit ago I posted onto the chat that all of the links, both for our existing webinar series and our low-code feature focus group. I know that there's a new one that was put out by Reza this week describing the page builder menu, and then also our investor link. So all that's on your chat.
Okay, Google is working.
And any questions anyone has on my presentation? It was a little bit rushed, but we'll also, this is going to be posted, and I think if you follow it along, even though I went a little quickly today, I think you'll be able to follow along and see how that the technique that's behind that.
Okay, guys, so I think I have the answer what's happening. I think Amazon is down, and I'm not joking. So I think the hosting services from Amazon or something from Amazon is not working properly. As you can see, Amazon is not, or is it? Okay, we're back.
All right.
All right. We're getting there. All right, so meanwhile, let me connect to the VPN while we continue here. Okay. So let me add a NavXP, and a cool fact about NavXP. Actually, I think this was the first DNA share product so many years ago. It was rewritten, but all right. So the first things first, let me remove the blue line there about permissions. Maybe registered user can have access because it's annoying. Now, the second thing is, when you are using the skin as a skin object, you're gonna get the new manage item into your menu because you don't have any access to modify, even though behind the scene it's a module. Usually, if you're gonna use the component individually, you can go and click the pencil here and enter the management bar. What I'm gonna do here right now, so we have different themes right now. This is like the Bootstrap theme. It's it's actually copying like a Bootstrap simple menu, but it doesn't make sense right now. You already have a menu, so why would you have a second one? So what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna switch to the simple unordered list for the moment. I'm gonna really quickly refresh. So at this moment, what we have is a small the basic of a menu that you can have. So the main design that when this was developed was to give you like a starting point to create your own menus. So we give you like the Bootstrap one, and there are other, I think, another 2 templates that you can choose from. But usually, you have your own branding, your own colors, so your own reasoning to have it look as you want to have it look. So what we did when we did the rewriting of NavXP, we provided with a simple unordered list, which is generating everything, and it has all the features of NavXP working properly. But the thing is that you have like a starting point to create your own and look and feel. So because of the disconnect that happened earlier, I will have to reconnect to the remote I already had prepared, but this is gonna take 1 second. All right, and let's see. So
Copying of the template, this follows along with what we've been doing in the most recent technical webinars, where we copy an existing template of something and then start modifying it.
Yes, exactly. So going to your folder of the website, you can go into desktop modules, DNA Sharp, NavXP, and templates. So at this point, what you can do is the easiest way to create your own skin, your own theme about that. You can just copy the unordered list. I think that's the easiest one to start. If you want to start from any other existing skin, that's fine. You can do whatever you want. It's your website. So unordered list, I don't know, 2. I'm lacking ideas right now. So you can go to unordered list 2, and you can enter the folder after you recreate it. So the first thing that you need to do is go and edit the template JSON config. And in here, if I remember correctly, there are 2 things that you need to edit. The first one, it will be to give a display name for your new skin theme, actually, and I'm gonna name it 2. And you have to change the ID, otherwise you are not gonna get a new value into the dropdown because the ID is not gonna be unique. So I'm gonna name this, add the 2 here as well. So I'm gonna click save, and I'm gonna go back to my menu really quickly. So let's enter the management again. And all right, so actually I think we need to do a clear of the cache before this is gonna show up. So because we are caching the values. Yes, all right, so we cleared the cache really quickly, and now we have a second option. It's the simple unordered list 2. I'm gonna click save again, and I'm gonna go back and refresh the page, and most likely you know what we'd expect. So nothing changed because it's just a perfect copy of what we already have. But the nice part now is that we can actually go and start modifying the skin, this theme, and make it as we want. So the main file that you usually make changes to is the template CS HTML, which is actually the extension for Reza scripting. And here it's gonna go a little bit more code-ish, let's say, because rendering menus and do recursive generation of the menus is not a really simple thing, but managing that's the NavXP part. So usually here I don't know how, I don't want to go very technical in this subject, but imagine that you are basically having a tree, a tree, and each tree has branches at the first level, and each branch at the first level has sub branches and so on. So you get that, tree look. So that's basically how menus are built also. So you have like the trunk of the tree, which is actually the whole container, and each individual branch, then it's gonna be your level 1 menu. So in this case, so the branch is the whole thing. The trunk, sorry, is the whole thing. And now the first level of branches are customers, producers, and NavXP, and managing all of the entries here. Now the second level is going to be, customer type, and on the second level of producer is going to be producer type. So that's actually what's, and you can have like the third level and a fourth level and so on. So you have sub menus. Now, oops, my bad. Okay. Now going back, so this is like the main place you can start changing stuff. And the other two things, and I think, the second most important thing is the style CSS. And let's edit this one. So for the moment, you see, we have only like two classes, very simple classes that we can apply. And I think the easiest way to show you that this is actually working is maybe we have here, not here, my bad. So where was I? NavXP. Okay. So the active page here is highlighted in light blue. So we can see this resulted here. So let's make it teal, and make the color of it white. All right, and let me save really quickly. Put this here and let me refresh. Let me do a hard refresh, I'm sorry. So we can see the modifications happening. Wait, didn't I click save? Not the list number 2, come on, don't disappoint me. What am I doing wrong? Am I doing something wrong? Simple unordered list 2. Am I in the wrong place here? Template unordered list 2. Is the config fine? Oh, okay, my bad. So not only 2 things, there are 4 things. You have to change the path to be. So I actually was using the CSS and the JavaScript from the the default unordered list. So that was my bad.
Good correction. The constant feedback we get from people is they like to see us fail and then figure it out.
Yeah, we learned the hard way. Most likely need changing that information. Only the config maybe will require me to go to servers and clear the cache again, because changing the paths inside there. Okay, so yeah, changing the path. So now, yeah, right now we have the active class being a teal background with a white color in the menu. And things, from this moment, you can just, go and you can Google like nice HTML menu, and you have like a lot of tutorials and a lot of, great looking menus that you can adopt, and you can transfer maybe, all right, maybe I didn't choose the right side. Those are not really appealing, but anything that you like and anything that you want to happen, you can just go and see the HTML structure, go here in the CS HTML and adapt the classes. So right now we only have like an unordered list, and the unordered list has list items in it, and if the branch has multiple, we're going to append the child and so on. So let me show you something that I prepared in advance, not because, well, skinning it's not like a half an hour thing. You have to put a little bit of time in doing that. But I created like a small template that can represent our side menu. So let me refresh this really quickly. So here, what's happening is telling me that, you know, you are a NavXP, and NavXP doesn't have any other, you know, sub branches, that doesn't have children. So if I go to the producer page, which actually, if we look here in the top menu, has another two sub pages, and I'm gonna do the same, then the same thing and adding a module really quickly there. Give me 1 second to do that. So I'm just gonna search for NavXP. Okay. It's okay. So it's added to the. Let me add it somewhere to the page. Okay, and let me edit it really quickly. And change the theme also to the sidebar. Yep, the default theme. Let me close this. Okay, so we have this like, I know it's, you know, not actually very great looking, but we have this module, and we can use this. Maybe if I put it up here at the top, and maybe if I also close the edit mode for the moment being, it gives you like an idea. So what I'm doing right now, that's not, well, it wasn't designed to be used as a component on the website, at least how I did it. I'm going to show you in a minute how I'm using it. So the whole idea is that you are getting the producers really quickly here, and you are getting the sub pages immediately under. So if you want to access something really quickly, you can just go, okay, so I'm looking at producer, I need to, you know, add a new producer specialty or a new type. So you have the sub menu, the level 2 children already rendered on your left side here. I actually want to have it on the left side, but as you can see, I have to reorder a lot of the modules here on the page so I can get that look and feel. So, you know, every page I'm going to create, I need to go and do these things. And I'm not sure that I want to do it every time. So it's something like this. So, and it's not filling the whole space. So it's not like that great looking. So what I did is I'm utilizing the NavXP as a skin object in the skin, and let me put everything, you know, how it was very quickly. And I can maybe delete this because it's not, you know, working properly right now. So what I did, you can, I created the new layout in the existing skin. Let me see. So page settings, advanced appearance, and now I have like a default side menu with a default skin. So I can click save, and after I click save, and I'm gonna refresh the page really quickly, what's happening right now, and maybe exiting the edit mode is going to give you a better idea how this looks and feel, is that each time I'm entering a page, I have like a smaller side menu on the left of the side, so I can really quick access the items that I want. So I go to producers, I do my work, and now I go to producer type. So it's the same thing as the menu here, but you have the same elements, the same entries of the menu, but now you have quick access. You don't have to click and click again. You are saving one click right now. So as you can see now, you can see this NavXP module that I'm having here is not part of the grid system. It's part of the skin. So changing the layout of the skin actually did this. So let me give you a quick look how you can create your own layout inside the skin, and how you can add NavXP as a skin object, and it's actually really simple. So going back to not Internet Explorer, going back to your root of the website, you can go to portals, default, skins. You choose what skin you want to work. I'm working with the page builder. And usually you have each individual ASCX file that you have here is actually a layout. What I did, I took the default one and did a copy. So it was just a simple copy paste, nothing more than this one. And I entered and edited the default the default file. So all the files that all the skins mainly have this root file where you can modify. The most important thing is that you need to have, and I need to, where is it? Where is the NavXP? Okay, so you need to register. You need to add this line. I don't want to go into technicalities, but you need to add this line to be, at the top as the rest of the entries that you have. And after that, you're going to see this is the actual root of the root of the skin. So you need to find where you want to put the menu. So if I search really quickly NavXP and find if I go and find all, let's see. So where was I? So I chose to put it. So this is this is actually this is how you add a menu module inside the skin. So you can see this is the page builder default menu. So this is the one that is at the top of the skin. So the only thing that you need is just copy this one and change the ID, and well, that's it. You don't need to worry about anything else. You're going to have a component there, and you can go and edit it because the manage link will appear, and you can go and configure it, and you can go change the skin exactly as I showed you. The other one that I use, this is the one that I use. I called it the side menu. So I went and add this component into my skin file, and after that, well, it appeared. NavXP instance appeared on my left side. Another thing that I need to mention, so it's not everything. I also added some CSS classes that are pushing my content like 300 pixels on the right, so I have space for that. So I needed to do some smaller adjustment here and there. Overall, I think it took me like an hour and a half to do something like that. And I also make it some kind of responsiveness. So when it's getting the screen is getting smaller, is basically hiding the side menu. You don't need the second one, you have the top one. Yes, and I think that's kind of my part today.
There are a couple of questions, and maybe
Please.
we can just end out on these. One was whether NavXP can become, if it is ADA compliant, or if it can be made ADA compliant. I don't know if I'm sure it can be made that way.
And I know this is embarrassing for me, but I'm not really sure what ADA compliant means.
Okay. Yeah, this would be people who are impaired.
Okay. So, working with tab and arrows and navigating the website. I don't know. Most likely, so the answer will be yes, you can do it ADA compliant because you can, build it yourself with.
If you understand the compliance, you can build that into the template yourself.
Exactly.
But we haven't taken steps to particularly to be ADA compliant at this point.
Yeah, you're reading my mind.
Right. And then the other question we have was just, if I'm understanding correctly, NavXP menu items are generated by Razor script. So any script output could be a menu item.
I'm sorry, any script?
Any script output could be a menu item. You could add menu items that weren't necessarily within the menu structure.
Yes, exactly. And actually, and this is maybe, I just want to mention, yes, you can modify, and you can modify the output of this as you want. And actually, let me give you a quick look of something. So if I think I think my tokens works in the same way. So I think you also can have now you can have my tokens inside you can have actually my tokens inside the rendering of the NavXP. So you can combine those two modules and obtain something
lots
more.
Of possibilities here, and the basic concept is if you create a copy of the existing template, you can work on it safely. It's not going to blow anything up because you have the original. You're not modifying the original. So make a copy, make your changes. You can make that happen.
Yeah, I think I cannot stress this enough. Make a copy because it's gonna get overwritten otherwise when you upgrade. So every time you create a new template, either it's Search Boost, it's Action Grid, it's NavXP. Do a copy before you work and you customize.
So we're right at our hour, and hopefully Bogdan will close us out. If you'll unshare your screen.
Yes, of course. Cool. So yeah, very, very interesting technique today. And what we've seen in the past few webinars is this idea that you have so many low-code features, but you can also go into code and extend the platform with new reusable components. Either it's a template, as we saw today, a menu template. Last week, we did a search results template. A couple of weeks ago, we did listing templates, right? Also, it could be backend, like I think maybe 3 or 4 editions ago, we did actions, like actions that you use in action forms, grid, listings, and so on. So we do have quite a lot of extension points. And also the idea of this webinar is to introduce you to all of them, is not to give you like an exhaustive list of all the ways that you can extend it. So I'm hoping that this raised your curiosity. Reach out to us on the community forum, on help desk to find out more, to find out how you can build more. So thanks for being here, and we'll be seeing each other again next week. Bye, everyone.